Canucks-Sharks game was really something. I didn't see it because essentially on Saturday I was. What's the opposite? Lucid is good, right? Lucid is when like someone is sick but conscious. I was the opposite of that. Let me see. Is this the word I'm looking for? I don't think I've ever used it in a sentence. It's definitely not agog. I was not agog. I was not eager or curious to hear or see something. Sleep isn't the word I would use. What I would say about Saturday is, like when you're trying to fall asleep on a bus or an airplane or something like that, and you're really, really tired, but for some reason you can't get into a restful sleep. So instead you enter like a limbo time warp where you fall asleep for 2 minutes and it feels like 3 hours, but you wake up and it's been 2 minutes. And then you fall asleep for 2 hours and then you wake up and it's actually only been 3 minutes. That was basically what Saturday was like for me. I was in limbo for the entirety of Saturday. I woke up at 5 a.m., took a shower, went back to bed until noon, managed to gather my strength to go down to the couch from like noon until 5, and then slept from 5 till 5:30, at which point I was okay. Relatively okay. Too much fun on Friday? No, I was hit by an invisible bullet with some kind of virus on it. I just keep saying it's norovirus, but like again, I'm not gonna make this like a Canadian medical system thing again. I think this is just the reality of food poisoning or like short viral or bacterial infections. You're supposed to, legally speaking, you're supposed to report any cases of norovirus to like the Canadian public health authorities so that they can track outbreaks. How the hell am I supposed to track norovirus when by the time I could even get to the hospital to figure out if it's norovirus, I would have no symptoms left? It's simply not. I'm not taking 4 days off from work to go to the emergency room, get triaged to like 98,000th in line, just so I can get told to go piss in a cup, drop it off at Life Labs, and then 7 days from now, they'll be like, yep, that's the thing you had. They use statistical models for those? Yeah, they still need my piss. If they could just like statistically model my piss, or here's one that they could do, they could just trust me when I tell them what my symptoms are, instead of making me get like dosed with radiation for a CT scan just because I got diarrhea. But what do I know? I'm not a medical professional. I honestly think what happened is that there was some kind of gut bacteria going around at my kid's daycare, and my kid just tanked it. She was like 15% sick on Thursday and Friday, and I was like, that's pretty, like, that's the ambient winter sickness at all times. Like, whenever you're like, how are you feeling? She's like, I feel good. But you're like, you got like a little sniffle or something. That's just what it's like from October to April, basically. But then I think I got it for real, and then I gave it to Kate. But she face tanked it, dude. We just got hit with the splashback. They want you to be sick so you'll buy meds? No, your conspiracy theory doesn't fly here, because you got to pass through 1,000 means tests just to be able to purchase the antibiotics legally. I would love it if your conspiracy theory was true and they were like, here, to fix your problem, buy this medicine. But that shit is not how it goes down. Instead, they're like, yeah, I know you say you're sick, but we get a lot of people in here pretending to be sick. It would be a tragedy if we accidentally gave antibiotics to one person who didn't really need them. Even if 99 people with real problems have to suffer, we can't risk that one person getting those juicy antibiotics with no need. Anyway, this time I just beat it, though. Loki, though, Rizzler, listen, you know what it's like? So I again, I don't know if it was norovirus, but it was some kind of gastroenteritis I had on Saturday. I was half conscious the whole day. It was like having a horrible hangover plus a fever at the same time. And the only sentence that kept repeating through my brain was, you're so skibbity, you probably think this Riz is about you. This is just like what felt like 48 straight hours of "you're so skibbity, you probably think this Riz is about you." Like, your brain just fixates on one sentence and you're like, stop it. And it's like, the more you tell it to stop it, the more it fixates on it. I was in purgatory, bro. Let me close that. Open this. So we're just going to play some SAP to finish us off today. I think we're playing Lethal Company tomorrow. I got to work tomorrow. Yeah, me too. It's funny, you put work in quotation marks, but when I'm 3 minutes late, aka 7 minutes early, and then I tweeted about being sick on the weekend, they've changed their tune quite a lot. Is he live today? Is he live today? Oh, I hope he's okay. Being a streamer is fucked up for so many reasons. I don't know if you go through this, Dan. I didn't even want to tweet that I was sick. The only reason I did it was because Librarian outed me. Here's how the process went. I had an obligation to tell the Peloton sub-community that I wasn't going to be there on Sunday because I'm the person who makes the stack. So I told them, hey, I can't be there tomorrow. I've got some kind of gut-based infection. Librarian, who pays $14 a month to Peloton despite having never worked out on the fucking thing in his life, screen caps that and puts like an image for a PTSD imbued soldier on Twitter. So now like 100,000 people see it. Then this is why it sucks to be a streamer and tell people you're sick. You only get two kinds of messages. One of the kinds of message is, they're both equally fucked up. People are like, oh my God, we love you. Get well soon. This is terrible. I hope you're okay. Rest as long as you need. And I'm like, I know, I've been through it before. Don't worry, it's just diarrhea. Like, we go again. Then the other kind of message is like, what the fuck did you eat, brother? Holy, your immune system must be totally fucking shellacked, you dummy. And I'm like, I don't know who you are, dude. It's the highest highs and the lowest lows, man. I got people that are like, it's raining outside and they're like, make sure you take an umbrella and endeavor not to get struck by lightning. We love you. And the other one is like, it wouldn't be me, Vancouverite, complaining about rain. Like, it's toxic positivity and toxic negativity as far as we gotta control ourselves a little bit. We gotta stay within the range of normalcy for human beings, bro. We need toxic neutrality. Exactly. Whether he lives or dies, it's up to him. That's the reaction I'm looking for. How's the gut doing? Diogrigo, welcome back. I'm okay. I think I'm going to be good to go on the Peloton tomorrow. Was it overindulgence during the holidays? No, bro. I'm straight edge. I literally don't know what gave me the disease. There's a few options, okay? By the way, your own bias is going to determine what you think it was, okay? Because there's no way to run a reverse 3' to 5' direction RNA transflimerase on this via a stool sample. Here's the current hypotheses, okay? Friday night, we ordered pizza. I got a salad from the pizza place. Could it have been salad from the pizza place? Possibly. Friday at the daycare, there was a kid's birthday party, and one of the parents made cake pops. My kid, I brought the cake pop home for her. She said, I don't want this. I said, let's go. I ate it. Was it the homemade cake pop? I don't know if they're washing their hands when they're making the cake pop or using old eggs or something like that. Ruka left a very virulent bowel movement in the litter box. Is it possible while I was scooping it, it got vaporous, made it into the lungs or into the mouth and thus entered the digestive tract? Anything's possible. Or could it have just been a little norovirus that started a few days earlier at the daycare and finally filtered over to me? I don't know. I'm going with pizza place salad. I know that this is stupid, but it's no stupider than you saying this is what caused it without actually knowing, because you're just guessing. My bias, this is not fact-based. My bias is that I always assume food poisoning is more likely to come from home cooking of any sort than from food from a kitchen that actually is required to maintain health standards to the point where the health department could shut them down if they ever don't have like the perfect water temperature or like they've got too many rats in the kitchen. So I don't know what the answer is, obviously. My bias is the cake pop. But then it's confusing because Kate got it after me. She did not eat the cake pop, but maybe I got the virus from the cake pop and then I cultivated it and then some virons made it into her ecosystem. Or maybe she's got something completely different. This is why every house needs a doctor, honestly. Because like people are like, oh, what's wrong with you? And the only honest answer is like 99% of the time, you just got to say, I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor. How do I know what caused it? You're like, if I went to the ER, you would kick the shit out of me. You would be like, what are you doing in the ER? There's people here with real problems. And then like a day later, they'll be like, what exact strain of bacteria gave you those symptoms? And I'm like, I don't know, brother. You won't see me. Doesn't make any damn sense. My wife's a doctor and she tells me she doesn't know. That's how you know your wife is a good doctor. I feel like the smarter a doctor is, the more they should be like, we don't know what's going on. Like you ever look, I had gastroenteritis, right? Nausea, stomach cramps, vomiting, diarrhea, a little bit of pain in the abdomen, low-grade fever, some, headache. That's the differential diagnosis for like those 6 symptoms is like 900 different problems. There's no way they could know. Isn't that what being a doctor is? You just you group them together and you're like one medicine would take out 70% of the things. And then if that doesn't work, come back. You obviously didn't have that. I was convinced that my kidneys were failing. I was like, I either have food poisoning or I'm going to die because my kidneys are failing. There should be a streamer doctor who's like, anytime you get sick, you could just dude, we gotta come on. Now we got a few thousand people watching this, right? Dr. K's for the mental though. I mean for the physical. Here's the thing, is like I'm so stoked that there's more of a focus on mental health now. Mental health is real. That's great. But now we need some of the fucking psychiatrists to now put more of a priority on the physical health, because I think we're neglecting that a little bit. We need more capacity for physical health. Physical health is real health. I want to have like a doctor that I can just call up on Discord and I could be like, take a look at this stool sample. Am I going to die? But I know because the doctors are so responsible, they would look at this shit and then they would be like, I don't know, brother, go to the emergency room. And I'd be like, man, fuck you. What do I keep you around for? Go to the emergency room, ass. Just tell me what's wrong with me, dickhead. Fuck ass. I could tell myself to go to the emergency room. Why don't you call your doctor? You know why I'm not calling my doctor. Don't get me started on the telehealth. A lot of these are pandemic hangovers. But Kate, I always talk about this. You remember when, like one day, our daughter's, like around her eye just turned super red? And we were freaking out because she's like 1 year old. So we're like, she's probably allergic to something and she's gonna die. So it's like step one is like, are we gonna go to the emergency room for a little redness around the eye? I don't know. That's like a 14-hour trip at that time because it's a 30-minute drive to the hospital, 2 hours to get somebody to talk to you, and then 10 hours of sitting in a chair waiting to be seen by a doctor. So we said, no. Let's call 811 first. 811 is the nurse's hotline. So I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that first. Called 811. They said it'll be 2 hours till a nurse can talk to you. Left it on speakerphone on hold. Talked to the nurse. She said, unfortunately, without us being able to see it, all we can really do is recommend going to the emergency room. Thanks a lot. That's a good... At that point, I wish that we had gone to the emergency room 2 hours earlier, instead of waiting around for that useless information. So I said, I don't know, let's finally try one of these like telehealth apps. And then I did a telehealth with like the TELUS Health. And then I talked to a doctor who might have just been ChatGPT. And he's like, can you send me a picture? I sent a picture of the eye. And they're like, unfortunately, without like a physical examination, we can't tell what this is. You should go to the emergency room. I was like, you are fucking useless. No disrespect. Literally every telehealth appointment is like, just go see a real doctor. Why do you exist? Anyway, by that point, the swelling had gone down. So like, no big deal, I guess. It was just kind of annoying. Telehealth only exists to get drugs. I was kind of losing it when I said that I might have food poisoning in the Peloton sub community. And then people were like, someone in there was like, I buy antibiotics. I'm not a prepper at all, by the way. But they said, I buy antibiotics from this website and they ship them from India to America and I keep it in my bug out bag. And I was like, hold on now. Speak on that for a minute. For legal purposes, don't tell me whether or not that's illegal. Is that a thing you can do? Then also somebody said if you don't want to do that, you can just get fish antibiotics. Are you telling me that the fish get antibiotics without needing a diagnosis, but a human being has to prove that they're really sick to get the antibiotics, and it's the same antibiotics? Everybody is doing their best, okay? I recognize that. But I think like once every 50 years, somebody needs to come into like all these, because these systems are like you build, bureaucracy, you build, rework, you build. But then like after 50 years, there's like a lot of cruft and some like contradictory processes start to come into play. You need just one person to come in every 50 years and be like, does it seem right that the fish are getting better medical treatment than the people? That's just, okay. And then all of a sudden you can get ciprofloxacin at the pharmacy. That's all I'm saying. It's almost like antibiotic resistance exists. Yeah, but I would rather die to the antibiotic resistant superbacteria than die to some shitty bacteria that isn't resistant to the antibiotics that's killing my ass right now. I got to get rid of the thing that's killing me first before I can worry about not dying of the thing that might kill us later. That kills us too, dickhead. Okay, well, don't fucking give any antibiotics to the damn fish then. Or the chickens, for that matter. Don't even get me started finding out it's hard to get ciprofloxacin because 99% of the world's cipro goes to the poultry arm of the Animal Husbandry Guild. We got to start treating people with more respect, man. Any legislators in chat? My local member of parliament be like, best I could do is a $20 Save on Foods gift card, brother. It's hard out here. It would suck to be a legislator, for sure. I think you're right. Like, if I ever saw a politician that had jurisdiction over me in public, I would be airing my grievances, like, immediately. I would be like, come on, man. It's crazy out there. They would probably be like, I know, I saw the Salmonella and Campylobacter supercut. I know. And I'd be like, no, you don't know. Here, you didn't. That's only the stuff that I said on stream, motherfucker. Get ready. Does this make sense to you? And then, yes, I know the fish get the antibiotics. Yeah. Do you think it's good to buy my medicine at the PetSmart, brother? Now, it's not even a local pet store. It's an international chain. No, we don't think it's good. We don't think it's good. We're still running the pilot project on whether you should be able to consume 1 can of beer in the park. Sorry, it's taking a little longer than we expect. Man, fuck you. Are you saying I shouldn't vote? No, you should always vote, but you should disabuse yourself from the notion that it's going to enact realistic change. You should do it. It's like taking a multivitamin, you know? You're like, the science says that I have to do this. It can't be bad for me. But if you expect that it's going to like completely make your life do a 180, you're putting a lot of pressure on like one little tablet, you know? The science is still out on the multivitamins. Nah, bro, I take them every day. And I'm kind of a bastion of health as long as we're talking about cycling output instead of gastrointestinal health. Your ass is sick every week. I'm actually, this fall, I've been anti-sick. We were even talking about it in the Peloton sub. People were putting scientific literature out there that's like cardiovascular exercise apparently is like a deterrent to respiratory illness. I've been cruising. And fuck you, I got sick on the weekend. I got sick on my time, motherfucker. What are you complaining about? I was here at 9:06 a.m. Monday morning. You can suck me as far as I'm concerned. I'm sitting in my damn office. It's none of your damn business. If anybody should be mad that I was sick, it's my wife, who on Saturday was like, I gotta do all this stuff for the weekend. I gotta take care of the house. I gotta take care of the kid. I gotta take care of the food. Meanwhile, my ass was like in the, I was in a fugue state. Me being sick on my time is none of your business. That's the librarian's business, because they outed me. Let me try it again. First things first, I'm the realist. Drop the bass, make the whole place feel this. And I'm still in the murder business. I can hold you down like I'm teaching lessons in physics. You should water bad like me. Something, something, something like me. Cup of ace, cup of goose, cup of Chris, cup of doop with a tuppa 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 on my wrist.